All right, so we have ourselves a 2-for-1 special today. This is a platinum low diamond Zerg. I'm going to quickly blow through both of his replays, and we're just going to take a look at what he is doing. Okay, so we're 17 hatching. I like that. Versus Terran, that's the most effective way to min-max. Versus Zerg and versus Protoss, you're much safer off 16 hatching. 17, 17, 17, dig it. No! We've talked about this. I know it seems minimal, but it's a big deal. We rally 2 into gas. This third one gets rallied onto mineral lines, and one of the drones goes into the gas, because link speed needs to start at 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Now, let's look at what time you start link speed. 2:17. So it's 7 seconds difference. Now, if this is a super standard game, not that big of a deal. It really wouldn't matter that much. But it can matter versus cheeses, versus 2 racks, versus 3 racks Reaper. Link speed is what we need. We don't want to delay it for any reason if we don't have to.
Newly birthed.
Okay, so I don't like this either.
Swarm forces.
Just send the
under
Overlord to
attack.
Pervert Pillar. Always, always, always. Just send it here. Because that way we can see if he's building a natural, and then we can scout at a better time. At 2:30, it's really not going to tell us too much. We want to wait till at least like 3 minutes, 3:30, so we can see the tech route. Is he going fast 3cc? Is he going 2-on-1? Is he doing something weird, or is it standard? That's pretty much what it boils down to. Let me turn on a couple more lights. There we go. Okay, so we're going double Evo. Okay, we're gonna do the Roach Bust.
Swarm has
So I can already tell this is basically where you just max out on roaches, like 200 supply with 1-1 by 8-ish minutes, and then just face roll over the Terran. Now obviously this is a really, really effective way to deal with mech. This is basically just like a mech bust. Because at 8 minutes, when you're maxed out with 200 supply of roaches, they just usually cannot hold it. It is kind of all-in-ish, because we're stopping drones early, and we're not getting 2-2, we're just getting 1-1, and we're committing everything we have to this big frontal attack, but it usually can just face roll our opponent. Now, let's take a look at what our Terran opponent is doing. So we see double factory, so he's going into mech production. We got the armory, we got the engineering base, we can put up some planetaries, he's supply blocked like a motherfucker. Let's see what the Zerg player's vision is. Hellion and a handful of Marines. Does that mean mech? No. Does that mean bio? No. We have no clue. We have to remember, there's 2 really key important times to scouting a Terran player. The first initial scout is like 3 minutes to 3:30, somewhere in that window, so that we can see, is this weird, is this normal, and whatever he's doing, respond appropriately to it. The second key scouting time versus Terran is anywhere between like 4:30 and 5 minutes. There's no set in stone specific timing, but it has to be before the 5-minute mark. It has to be. Because at that time, we will see either multiple barracks, multiple factories. And that's going to determine, is this a mech play or is this a bio play? And the 2 play styles that we're going to use versus mech and versus bio, regardless if you want to play like Lingbait Muta, Lingbait Hydra, none of that fucking matters. We need to know if this is mech or if this is bio, because it's going to drastically alter our gameplay. And without that information, we're just going into a blind, crossing our fingers and hoping we pick the right one in a 50-50. We don't need to do that. We just have to find out. Not to say that the Roach Bust wouldn't work against bio. It absolutely can. It's just a little different. And even then, is this like greedy 3 racks already going for a 4th or something like that? We have no idea what this guy's doing. And while I absolutely love the drone count, brother, like, the drones are solid, solid, solid. What do we have? We have 4 links for safety right now. We have zero information. The only thing we know is he hasn't moved out with whatever we're looking at. Like, there could be a battle cruiser teleporting across the way and we would have nothing. So, if we have... Let me just pause it here, because I know we went over this the other day. This is completely safe to do if we have the information. Right now, we're playing blind. Right now, we're just making drones and hoping it works for the best. The only way we can do this effectively and safely as we get a little bit higher is just to get the information. All we need to do is get overlord speed, get whatever, a couple lings, just something to run by. Like, this is his 3rd. That's late. So if I was in your position right now and I have almost no scouting information, I see a late 3rd, I'm thinking, shit, I overdroned. We need a bit more map information before we can make this definitive call.
Swarm forces under attack.
Okay, so we have our 1-1 done. Yeah, we're doing the Overlord dump now, so we can get up to 200 supply. Are we gonna max out before 8 minutes? Okay, what the flying fuck. Man, this Terran is going for really early Neo Steel. Nyasum. Here comes our Ravagers. Alright, yeah, we maxed. Okay, so pretty good, man. So what do we have for units? We only have 64 drones. Again, I'd like to see like 70, but that's okay. 31 roaches, 19 Ravagers. Solid. We are moving across the map. What does our Terran opponent have? 11 Hellions and 5 tanks. Sorry. Is that going to hold this? Let's see his army placement. So he's got a nice little spread in his tanks. Yeah, he's got some good angles. But 3 biles per tank, and frankly, we just have an overwhelming amount of army. Nice, we snipe off a tank. Okay. Here's our first mistake. So when we go for this bust, it truly is a bust. It's a 1-2 punch. It's a 1-2 sucker punch. Okay? The 3rd doesn't matter. He's going to lift it up. What are we going to do? Spend all our time trying to bile it down? Doesn't really matter, because if he's got a 3rd, whether or not it's alive, he's under too much pressure. It's not like he's going to get any value out of that right at this moment. We can't let up. Once the cat's out of the bag, because this is a bust, we need to go for what's vital. And right now, this is not vital. This means absolutely nothing. What is vital? The production. He doesn't have much of an army. We can easily kill this Thor, bile down these tanks. These Hellions are doing absolutely nothing versus this army. We just need to crush it, face roll it, and get on top of his production. Because his economy does not matter. Terran, you could kill every fucking SCV they have, and they're just going to mule their way back up and somehow get back into the game. But especially against a mech player. Mech is so slow, it takes a long time to build. If he's got nothing, we just crush the army, crush the production, and there's absolutely nothing you can do. We could have 200 SCVs, it would not matter, because he can't make any more units. So we're wasting way too much time attacking this planetary, or this orbital. We're even biling our own units.
Cluster expended.
We just, yeah. See here, we're bleeding out units. And, I mean, while we still have more than enough, we just took extra tank shots. Behind this, no inject, no inject, no inject. We're going for 2-2, but what's in production? Absolutely nothing. What do we have? 10 larvae, no injects. Again, when I say this bust, we have to bust. We can absolutely macro out of this. But look how much damage you've done. Look how easy it is to win the game. Why are we not reinforcing? All we need to do is hold down the Z key, get as many lings as we can flooding across the map, and then once we take over the fucking... if we don't win the game, which we absolutely should, we just take over this, contain them on one base, and then we can draw. Like, we're already at a very healthy number. All we need to do is win the game. Bile the tank. Please bile the tank. Please bile the tank. Finally. Okay, that was a lot of extra shots. Okay. So, again, remember what I said. It's the timing. It's the 1-2 punch. This was the one punch, hey, I'm gonna hit you again. I'm gonna hit you again. You waited like a minute and a half. Then you tried to throw that punch and he blocked it. You're like, what the fuck? So we're trying to go up a high ground. We don't have any vision. Look at the tanks just blasting this away. Look at this tiny little choke. We're gonna lose everything here. So, let's look at the losses. That we did damage, but we didn't do enough, and we threw away a lot of stuff for 15 workers. We didn't do anything to his production. He still has 1-1. Like, this is... We're not in a solid position here, man. We're really not. And what are we producing? Nothing. We have no units, no nothing in production. We have 21 larvae. What? Come on, brother. Gotta get this going.
Queen birth.
Yeah, we're at a solid drone count. We're still not producing anything. Oh my god, it's been like a minute and a half and we haven't made a unit. We're still going. Okay, look at that. We're like almost 2 minutes of no production, then we queue up 42 roaches. Alright. We at least have a hive on the way. It's not super late, but it's late. But yeah, look, like, it's just kind of late. He's got 5 Thors, 6 tanks. Don't get me wrong, if we can get a good engagement, we'll win that fight, but is he going to let us get that engagement? Probably not. Okay, so I guess we're going for the follow-up 2-2 bust. We don't really need to go double spire, but I mean, we're banking a lot of money here.
Field exhausted.
Okay, neural. Do we have pathogen glands? No. I would get pathogen before neural, because infestors can be very useful before neural comes into play too, because especially if we're going to go broodlords, fungal is king. Okay, so we're waiting again. I'm not too sure what's going through our head here, but 83 SCVs, 6 tanks, 7 Thors. We can beat that. Look at that. Okay, sweet. Back off. Just go home. Go home. Why? Because there is obviously an army up here, and if there's not, it's on the way. We just got sick damage. So let's just go home, get a couple Vipers, come back and do this again. Please don't fight. Please don't. Thank you. Come on. Oh, come on, man. Just go home. We're coming in from one angle versus mech. This is not the fight we want. And yeah, we're gonna clean up a lot of damage. Like, we're gonna clean it up, but we're just gonna take it. We're not being efficient. And like, hey, look, a win's a win's a win, but like, we cleaned up a lot of his army. But again, look at the losses. We're doing okay. We're making a bad situation somewhat advantageous for us. Okay, we're going into Vipers. Deadly. Deadly, deadly.
Scream tumor under
We have
attack.
pathogen glands in the way. Yeah. We just did it again. We took a very long time before we produced anything. Our Vipers don't have energy, but they're out. So, we're probably just going to have to sack this. You're right. Get rid of the drones. Just get the Vipers consuming. Look, we even got Evo chambers going down. I can see you listen so well to me. We're just going to get these consumes going. We'll come back at this. We're going to have to sack it, but whatever. We're still in an okay position. I mean, look at our bank.
It's heating up out here.
Mr. Cluster stormed forces under attack. Mineral field depleted.
Oh, we killed the gas geyser. You gotta be careful with consume, man. It does a lot of damage. So he's fucking off back home. Awesome. What's our game plan here?
Mineral field exhausted.
Okay, so we even have our Vipers in a separate control group. I'm super happy, man. Everything looks great. Sweet, nice little victory. Yeah, so one thing we didn't talk about, a really easy way to scout and see, because like obviously you want to send your Vipers ahead before you fight so that we can get some yoinks, some blinding clouds, but sending them ahead without information is super risky because they're expensive and you might just throw them away. So an easy way to get some vision is just make a bunch of overseers, drop a shit ton of changelings. Even if they know that they're coming, if you just drop like fucking 30 changelings and run them in there, odds are you'll get a couple of them where they need to be to see vision, to see, hey, is it safe for me to fly my Vipers ahead? Just for next time. Okay, let's get some yoinks. Get some yoinks. Pick up some of these Thors. Come on. Oh no, we're losing them. Okay, yep, back up. We're off creep. This is not a good spot. We're in one angle. We're even in a choke. Oh no, we're fighting in a choke. Yeah, we can yoink them in, but this is dicey, and we lost all the Vipers. Oh no!
Mineral field depleted.
Oh, this is over.
Vespene geyser exhausted.
No inject, almost full energy. Almost full energy, now we're injecting. Almost full energy, no inject. Our macro's not
expended.
terrible, but it can be tightened up a lot.
Under attack.
We're not taking effective fights, and that bust. Like, we have the game won. It was in our hands in the beginning. We just spent too much time. Getting a kill in the third is like a consolation prize. It's like, oh, here's your participation trophy for making these roaches. It doesn't matter. He had no army, and we just wasted too much time. We just need to get right in there, punch him in the dick, show him who's boss, and get that GG. Alright, now let's just move on to the second one here. I'm just on an alt account while I watch these replays. Alright, ZvP. Oh, 17 minutes. This one's gonna be a little bit speedy.
The strongest
We have
will
for
win.
time. Okay. Alrighty. So. We're gonna 17 hatch. We're gonna get the hatch blocked, aren't we? Nope. Lucky you. Lucky you. There's nothing wrong with 17 hatching versus Protoss, but you're gonna get hatch blocked a lot. Cool, we keep that Overlord there to, okay. Whoa. Slow this down. Okay. We're pulling 4 drones for a probe that's sitting, to be fair, in a cheeky spot. First off, if we're trying to kill workers, like if we're trying to kill a probe, if it's trying to put up cannons, 2 workers on the probe. If we're trying to kill a pylon, it's 4 workers for the pylon. Anything more, whatever, but that's the most effective way so we can still keep mining. We're pulling 4 workers this early when it's critical that we want to keep everything on. Like when you have 80 workers, pulling 4 drones for a second, it doesn't matter. But it does right now. And there's not even a pylon. So no. If we see the pylon, different story, but yeah. That's the reason why the Overlord's there. Okay, speed this up. Lane speed was very late there.
Newly birthed.
Dear Lord. Okay, he wasn't even going for a cannon rush or anything. He just did not wall on the low ground. Now, me being the cheesy dick that I am, this is like dream come true. But obviously, we're trying to play a macro style here, so... Okay, so we get a good scout. He has no tech. And he's going for 3 gates. It's weird.
Evolution complete.
Typically for Protoss, doesn't matter if it's Zerg or if it's Terran. Obviously PvP is a bit different, but you know, their cyber finishes, they get a gateway unit, and then their next 100 gas goes towards whatever tech route they're going for.
Queen birth successful.
This guy's just making
Swarm
gates.
forces under attack.
Oh my god, he's still just making gates. Like, he's already got 4, and he's going 8 gates on 2 bases with no tech. No Twilight, no Robo, no Stargate, no nothing. Okay, so let's just time out here. We got an okay scout. Like, obviously we don't see 8, but we see 1, 2, 3, 4. We at least see 4 gateways at a weird time. And all we see right now, because we have vision, is him warping in units. Now, we're about to get vision that he doesn't have a 3rd here. I'd like to have a Ling or an Overlord or something, ideally over there. Oh, sorry. But we have absolutely no idea really what he's up to, other than the fact that he's warping in a lot of units. So, we need to just cut out drones. We're already really high. The safe number versus Protoss, if they're going to play 2 base, is 41 drones. We don't really want to go above 41 drones. We're already at a solid number. We're already way above that, obviously. We need to just stop droning now and make roaches for the life of us. This is mass unupgraded gateway units we're about to face.
Swarm forces under attack.
How often you deal with sentries, or how good the sentry players are in, you know, Platinum Diamond, but a Ravager Corrosive Bile will break the force field, so we already have the gas. Okay, we're going a lot of Banelings here. I don't like it. Like, it works. Like, you can absolutely play Ling Bane versus, like, the Adept, but it requires some good micro, because it's just not as efficient as playing roaches. Like, if they clump up, obviously, but it's just not really worth it to me. Not until you're much more confident, at least. So, like, what is this dude doing? Okay, so he's finally got a Twilight, and he's got double Forge. Like, okay, so he's going the super late Dark Shrine. Double Forge, no upgrades, no nothing going yet. This is strange. We talked about this too. If we're going to play, like, Lingbane Hydra versus Terran, obviously we need to prioritize Carapace. Versus Protoss, we're pretty much just getting ranged and melee. We can ignore Carapace for a little while. It's like, look at all our Banelings. Inevitably, if we're going to play Lingbane Hydra, Banelings are going to be our core damage.
Newly birthed
Oh,
queen.
so sorry. So we want melee.
Mutation complete. Mineral field depleted.
So, I mean, at least good call, because he did expand. He just did a super weird opener. Like, everything was screaming in my head, this is a 2-base, all-in weird
expended.
Shenanigans. But you stuck to your guns, and turns out it wasn't. This is just super delayed everything. I mean, it's Platinum, so I'm not shocked, but
Evolution complete.
you ended up, you're well ahead right now. Like, look, let's look at the income. Heavily in your favor. 79 drones to 56 probes. Like, this is solid stuff. We've got 1-1, we've got 2-2 on the way. I really want to see melee, but right now we have absolutely no way of breaking the force fields. So yeah. Oh no! Oh my god, the force fields are so good! Oh! Whenever you see, like, a Protoss that plays with a lot of sentries, that's when you're going to see typically, like, Ravager Lingbane. Just so they can break the force fields. We have nothing to break them right now. Like, an Ultralisk will break it. Any massive unit will break it. But I'm so sorry. I'm so yawny. Early on, yeah, we absolutely... Oh, we threw away so many Banelings. This is such a weird game. Like, this is...
Evolution complete.
We're are going to take a lot of damage here. So I can tell you're not used to playing against force fields. And that's fair. Not a lot of Protosses in the lower tiers use force fields like this guy. Like, he's using them quite well.
Forces under attack.
So, if we're up against a composition like this, we need Ravagers. We don't need a shit ton of them, but we need a couple. We need at least a handful of them so that we can Corrosive Bile and break the force fields. 2, it's really difficult to play Banelings versus this style. Doesn't mean it's impossible. Obviously, we can dance around and we can use Micro, but if we're not confident in our Micro, we can't really play Hydraling Bane versus the style then. We can play Roach Hydra Lurker. On the plus side, our creep spread is fantastic. Our macro is much better this game. I mean, I know we're still missing some injects, but other than that, everything's looking good. We kind of got the life knocked out of us with that engagement there. But he's giving us some breathing room, right? So let's look at the army supply. We're down, obviously. Let's look at the losses. We're down, obviously. Let's look at the economy. We're still up. We still have one hell of a mineral bank. What do we need to do at this point? We have so many minerals. We have so much larva. We're going to get on top of injects. Let's queue up 20 Zerglings here, 10 Zerglings here. Don't even look at them. Doesn't matter. We've got an excess of minerals, a lot of larva, and we've got injects going. Send lings out. Do some run-bys. Obviously, if you can look at Micro, you'll get more value, but it doesn't matter. Create chaos. We just took damage, but we're still in an advantage point, like, economically. So we just need to do some counter-harassment without committing while we work towards a bigger tech army.
Sequences spun, swarm mutated.
Like, our hive's fantastically timed. Like, everything looks great. Got our adrenal glands immediately. We're finally getting melee. So, you know, obviously the Lurker burrow speed is a super sick upgrade, and we will get it no matter what if we're playing Lurkers. But the more important one is the range. Get the seismic, I think it's seismic spines or something like that. We need to get that, like, ASAP Rocky as soon as we get our hive, because that will allow us to outrange High Templars with our Lurkers, so we essentially negate Storm. Look at this. Doesn't matter if we lose lings. They're cheap. We have minerals. We got a lot of damage done. Beautiful, my brother. Beautiful.
Swarm forces under attack.
Okay. So I'm going to take it off your camera here. So I want to see how this was set up. So, first off, we've got 20 roaches in production. I'm noticing a trend. We have a lot of lull. We have a lot of downtime. We either have units and we're attacking, or we lose our units, but we're not being attacked, but we're not producing anything. It's our production. There's just massive gaps in our production. It seems like when we sense something's coming or we see something's coming, it's all gas, no brakes. 40-some roaches in queue. We had the larva, we had the time, we had the money, brother. We could have had them out, you know? Yeah, that's a big fatal error. Like, it's happened twice now in 2 games. I mean, we've got the Lurkers. Does he have any detection? No. Deadly. So he's forced to back up. Awesome. So he's gonna... Look, he's queuing up an Observer. Remember what I said. We need to just get a hilarious amount of Overseers. You can get, like, 6 to 30. I don't care. Because if a Protoss player relies on Observers for their main detection against Lurkers, get a stupid amount of Overseers, and with your Hydralisks, every time you see an Overseer, stop whatever you're doing and snipe it. They need to use Oracles. It's the only way they can truly get vision of these Lurkers. Revelation is king. Not bad blinding clouds. You know, I can't really fault you for it. Like, I love to see Vipers. Vipers always get value. They were out on a good time and everything. But versus this specific comp, other than, you know, a couple of yoinks, while they're always going to be useful, I don't think we really needed them that much right now. But, again, I don't even want you to... I'm just happy you made them, honestly, brother. I'm so happy. But, look. So, we're about to see it again. This is what's happening while we're fighting. Obviously, injects are late. Do I expect you to inject or want you to inject while you're fighting? No. Until we know that this fight is over and we're down to like our last 10 units, and then we can just say fuck it and go start injecting. No, I want you to look at your units. But we have no injects here full energy. No injects here 5 queens full energy. No injects here almost full energy. No, 1 inject at least. No inject almost full energy. We have 34 available larvae. We're at 116 supply. I'm going to back it up just a second further because I want to look at the production.
Protoss never give up. Stop enemy attack.
Swarm forces under attack.
Pay attention to the clock. Watch how long it takes you to produce a unit. Now, I understand we're fighting, but at any point in time, we could have just hit our hatchery key and held down R. So we waited till we lost our last Roach and Hydralisk till we decided to queue up more. And that's why we're losing games. Remember, the power in Zerg is quantity over quality. While Zerg units can be overpowered, like Broodlord and Fester plagued the game for almost 10 years, it's realistically quantity over quality, where Protoss is the exact opposite. It's quality over quantity. But we're not playing to our strengths when we're going in with these inferior units to the Protoss army and not replenishing them on time. That's why we lost this game. Like, we're still ahead economically, but we just don't have any units.
Creep tumor.
Like, yeah, we're making them, but it's too little too late. They needed to already be out so that we can set up a position. What happens now is, even if they're popping on time, they're all just going to trickle in one by one, so there's absolutely no way we can get a surround. We can't come in from multiple angles. We're just going to bleed out.
Creep to mineral field exhausted. Swarm forces under attack.
We've been supply blocked for a long time. There we go.
Cluster extended. Swarm forces under attack.
I just want this game's already over, but we just lost too much. We lost way too much. We're still not producing anything. And there's the 21 roaches. There's your Achilles heel. This is why you're losing games. If we can tighten this up, the macro, the creep spread, everything, it's not terrible, it's not great, but it's not bad. It's really good for Platinum, to be honest with you, especially the creep spread. But our production is shit. That's the key, though. And I say that with all love, I really do. That's what we need to fix first, and that's what's going to get you up into Diamond. That is your Achilles heel. Good luck, have fun. Yeah.